My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey y'all, all right, we're not effing around in this video. I mean, I'm not effing around. I'm usually the one who effs around. That's not happening. I really want to start this conversation about ways to avoid overspending during the holiday season, the impending holiday season, strategies. And I say start the conversation because I'm sure that I haven't thought of everything, and I'm sure that you guys, I want you guys to be like a resource for each other, a resource for me in this video in particular. So if you have ones, I've just thought of a list. I've thought of 7, I think, and I will share those with you. But if you have strategies, if you have things that work for you, strategies for anything from trying to stick to your total no buy all the way through to just trying to make sure that you don't end up in the red after the holidays, in the black, to make sure that you don't end up broke after the holidays or in debt further than you meant to, and to make sure that you don't end up with like a bunch of stuff in your house that you don't actually want in your house, in your heart of hearts after the holidays. Like basically the whole spectrum of things, from buying nothing during this season through to just trying to moderate better and just keep yourself under control and remind yourself of your actual values going into this season. So I want to know what you guys think as well. And so I'm just kind of trying to kick it off with the little list that I came up with. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So on my list, I have strategies that kind of work in separate ways or like apply to separate phases or separate parts of the kind of compulsion to overspend during this season, and specifically to overspend on beauty products. I mean, that's like what I'm talking about because that's my channel. But I mean, of course it applies to other things. Hopefully it will apply to other things. And if you have a problem with clothes, which was part of my problem before my no-buy year, and clothing is still something that I am always longing to overspend on, then hopefully you can apply what I say about beauty products to the other problem areas in your collection of belongings. So the first one that I have on my list is to rearrange your makeup setup. And this comes from my personal recent experience. I don't know if you can tell because I can't remember how much of my background is usually in the videos and how much is in now. I feel like it changes a little bit all the time. But basically I have like a little acrylic container with some drawers in it that has mostly my lip products and a couple of eyeliners and stuff in it. And it used to be on this side of the mirror and I moved it to that side of the mirror. I also just turned my skincare acrylic holder into a slightly different direction. I just moved some stuff around just right here. And in my drawer too, I switched the location. I switched the primers with the blushes. I mean, it sounds so dumb. But I spent, an hour one evening after dinner just rearranging, cleaning, reorganizing, very minor adjustments. I moved the purgatory box. I moved some things sort of, into the limelight, and shopping your stash can kind of go along with this. I'll get to that in a minute. But just rearranging, it's like given me a whole new lease on the life of my relationship with makeup. Like every morning since I've done that, I've woken up and I've been like,
hello, darlings, lipsticks, blushes. I'm so happy to see you today.
Like, what? I mean, it's so amazing and it's so dumb and it's so dumb and amazing, but it works. It works. And what I recommend is if you know that you hunger, I was about to say hanger. I feel like maybe that's valid. If you hanger for new stuff during the holiday season, and if part of your excitement about giving in to the company's triggering you to indulge, to overindulge and overspend this season, if you know that for you part of that comes from boredom with what you own and the fact that you like change and you like things to feel different and new and exciting and you like things to be fresh and you like the next best thing, if you know that that's a big factor for you, put it on your calendar to rearrange your makeup every 2 weeks between now and January. Put a little date on your calendar, be like, it's rearranging night, and just put everything in a new place. if you have to go to extremes, like putting some of it in a box and putting some of it underneath and putting some of that, or you could also, this is what I was going to say before, shop your stash, like every week or every 2 weeks, pick a selection of things that you haven't worn in a while and make yourself wear them over the next week or 2 weeks. Whatever you need to do, upending what you already own and kind of resettling it consistently during this season is a really, really good, just out the gate front strategy. What's it called? Press in basketball. Like, it's a good aggressive, offensive strategy. It's a good offensive strategy for helping yourself not to overspend. The second suggestion on my list has similar qualities. It kind of like gets at the same nub of things, and that is just makeup playtime. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Makeup playtime, makeup playtime. Makeup playtime, and what that is, if you're kind of new or if you don't remember, is just setting aside time. I usually do it at night. I usually shower at night before bed, but it would be just before you wash your face. So I usually set aside a little bit of time, sometimes just 10 minutes, sometimes it goes into half an hour before I clean myself to get in bed. I play with my makeup on top of what I'm already wearing that day. And sometimes I'll take off what I'm wearing and go in with products to make a whole new look. And it serves, to me, 2 main purposes. The first is that it just satisfies that urge to stick your fingers in makeup. When we see a picture of something new and like a new thing releases and it's like, it's so glittery. I love glitter so much. I really want to touch glitter. Look how creamy the glitter is and look how shiny it is. And because you're looking at the image of the new thing, you have these hangers to touch and swatch and play and make and create with color and shine. And you're looking at the image, and so you develop this bond with the image of the thing, and you feel like to fulfill those desires, you have to buy that exact thing so that you can have those physical, those tactile experiences that the image is promising. But you don't have to buy that thing to have that experience. You can have it with makeup playtime. You can have it with what you already own. So sitting down night after night and giving yourself some playtime to kind of fulfill those tactile desires, it helps to make you not so hangry when you see those images, because you're like,
oh, I just touched glitter yesterday after dinner. So I see your prawn.
Not prawn like not like a shrimp, but prawn like, you know, the spelling of porn that means that you don't get your video demonetized.
I see your seductive imagery, and it makes me feel nothing, because I'm already satisfied by the glitter I have at home.
Makeup playtime can really, really help you stay in a state of satisfaction and fullness. And with your makeup hanger sated through the holiday season, you'll be less likely to overspend. All right, moving on. The second thing that makeup playtime does for me, and what I suggest that it might do for you, is it reminds you what you already have. When I sit down for makeup playtime, sometimes I don't even know where to start. Even at times when I've only had 6 eyeshadow palettes, as my collection has grown and shrunk over the past couple of years, sometimes even when it's been at its smallest, I sit down and I look at all of my eyeshadows and I'm like, oh my God, there's not enough time to play with it all. How do I even choose what I want to play with? I want to play with everything. And it makes me feel a little bit overwhelmed by the size of it, and it makes me feel that kind of analysis paralysis. That is a good thing to feel. It's good to look at what you have and feel that feeling a lot during the holiday season. The more times you feel that feeling about what you already own, the less likely you will be to add more on top of the already teetering gigantic mountainous pile. Makeup playtime FTW. Get on it. Okay, so let's talk now about strategies to enact when you're actually in the act of being out there, either online shopping or in the stores. I know it might be a little bit early to talk about this, but maybe not. Especially, this is the thing, it might be a little too early to talk about, especially gift shopping. This is the season when we start thinking about buying things for other people, and a lot of times we find ourselves in shopping situations, engaging in shopping behaviors because we're required to, because we are getting gifts for other people. And those are the situations in which we are frequently then so easily tricking ourselves into just picking up a little thing here and a little thing there for ourselves, picking up this little thing here and a little thing there every time we go out and put ourselves in a shopping situation because of the holiday. That's what puts us into debt in January. One really good strategy going into this season, just specifically to avoid that situation, is to literally take pride, to pointedly, mindfully take pride in the act of buying gifts for other people only. Keep a little checklist. How many shopping trips can you go on? How many online browsing experiences can you have during which the only thing you buy is stuff for other people? It's a win every time you do that. Tell yourself that going into the season. Every time you buy something for someone else and it's not attached to a purchase for yourself, that's a win. If you really need to keep a little tally thingy, then do that. You could even go so far as to promise yourself that you will only ever buy things for other people in isolation, that you will never attach a gift for yourself, treat yourself moment to holiday gift shopping. Deciding that in advance and making it a point of pride and sticking to it with all that grit that I know you have can go a long way towards alleviating the possibility of overspending. And then the fourth one is, again, kind of adjacent to that. It's if you feel, the fourth one is for the people out there who are listening to me talk about number 3 and they're like,
"You're taking away all my holiday magic, Hannah Louise Poston. You are the Grinch. I can't go holiday shopping without the possibility of buying things for myself. It's my favorite time of year. I need that in my life."
If that's you, that's okay. There's like another version of number 3 for you, and that is to set yourself a budget. I am a big fan of budgeting for beauty. It has changed my life. And I think that if that's not something that you usually do, maybe now is a good time, especially if you are so attached to the feeling of picking up a little thing here and a little thing there for yourself adjacent to gift shopping. If you're so attached to that you can't subscribe to number 3, if you're like, girl, no, that's not going to be me, then setting yourself a budget for little thing here, little thing there is actually going to be extra important, because historically for me, that was me. I was always like, little thing here, little thing there. I was like, I love gift shopping because I always knew that it meant regular shopping too, but it's like licensed regular shopping. It was like, this is just what we do. So I know that. I've been there. I know that life. And because I was that person, I know that that can get so out of control so fast. And that mindset where you're like, but this is what we do. This is how it always is. This is what this season is about. And it's what makes me feel good. And it's what makes me feel festive. That mindset can so often cause us to like put blinders on and to willfully not see what it's all adding up to, and to willfully not acknowledge what that amount of money spent on the little thing here and the little thing there actually means for our futures. All I'm saying is if that's you, budgeting might be actually really important. And so just set yourself a budget either for the whole season or for each little shopping trip, if it has to be that. If it can't be the whole season, if you don't think you can stick to it, right now might be a good time to decide exactly how much you're going to spend on yourself, on extras for yourself between now and the end of the year. Like you could set like a budget for the last couple months of the year. So, but if you can't do that, if you don't think you can do like that whole chunk of time all together, just make sure that every time you go, you have imposed limits on yourself and don't break them. I've learned through my almost 2 years of being on YouTube and talking about this stuff that there are so many people out there who set things like limits and rules, and they say they're going to do a no buy, they say they're going to do a budget, only to then just break them. I think that a lot of people say they're going to do a thing and they know inside of themselves that they're not. So if you're out there and you're like, yeah, okay, $300 between now and December is all I'm going to spend on extras for myself. If you're saying that to yourself, if you're out there watching and you're like, yeah, that's a great idea, that's what I'm going to do, but you secretly know, like inside of yourself, there's a secret little 3-year-old child who's holding a little secret, like a little lollipop and grinning, and she secretly is licking her lollipop and secretly she knows that she's going to spend more than those $300? No. Squash that little girl. Throw away that lollipop. No. It's useless if you don't stick to it. You have to stick to it. Sticking to it is the point. That grit is the point. The whole point of it is making a promise that you know that you will keep. So, gosh, we really went there. And I told you to squash a child. Suggestion number 4 is really just budgeting. Budgeting for little things here and there for yourself during this season, rather than just like sliding them in every time you happen to be in a shopping situation. Okay, number 5 is very like holiday makeup specific. I mean, all of this is, but it's also a bit pan applicable. This one's very holiday makeup specific. Be skeptical of sets, holiday sets, those groupie things, those sets of minis, those collections of a bunch of different things that they think you probably want to try. Just be skeptical. That's all I'm saying. Instead of having the relationship with them where you're like,
yeah, it's the holiday season and all the sets are out. I can't wait to get you those sets.
Instead of having that attitude, have the attitude of,
Sets, you say? I'm a little skeptical. Of these sets. Sets? I don't know about sets.
like, that's number 5. That's my advice, is be that person and not the first person. And my really specific advice for incurring skepticism, drumming up skepticism inside of yourself with regards to these sets, is to concretely visualize the fate of each item in the set. Really, so if you're in Sephora and you're standing in front of some, I don't know, Sephora favorites, like 10 minis of like hair care products, and you're like, oh yeah, set. I want you to stand in front of them and go down the row, and don't just answer the question, do I want to unwrap this thing out of the set and like try it on my face right now, or my hair, whatever. Don't just answer that question. Answer the question, what is the fate, the long-term fate of this really tiny highlighter mini, or this like squeezy bottle of hair goo that's actually not designed for my hair type, or whatever it is, this mascara that I've already tried and I know that I don't like every single one on the line. Visualize where that little thingy is gonna be in 2 months, 6 months, a year. You can probably do it by thinking about where the little things are from all the sets you bought last year. Like, where did they go? Do you still have them? Are they still plaguing you? Are they in the landfill? Visualize the future of each one of those things. And if there is only 1 or 2 things in the set that you can visualize that its future is bright in your life, then maybe just put the full size of that thing on your wish list, on your holiday wish list, your gift wish list. Tell your friends, tell your family, or decide you're going to buy the full size of that one after the new year. And now we're getting into number 6, piece of advice number 6, think of the after Christmas sales. Everything that you want right now is going to go on sale, super sale. This is kind of like a sneaky one, because what I'm saying to you is like, think of the after Christmas sales. If you don't buy it full price now, then you'll be able to buy it on sale after the holidays. But what I really secretly know is that the chance that you're going to still want the thing 2 months from now when it's on sale is maybe not that good. A lot of these things that we're peeing our pants for right now, when the holiday rush is over, when the mistletoe has been taken down, the tree is scattering its brown, dead, dried up needles across the sidewalk as it gets dragged to the curb, when that's all happening, and then the prices are slashed, and you see how much it's really worth to the brand or the store or whatever, you see that the thing that they were selling for $65 is actually only worth $30 to them, which means that it's probably worth $15, and they're just trying to squeak a last little dollar or two out of you even after the whole rush has died down. When we start to see the scales fall from our eyes after the holidays, the things just seem less appealing. So wait for that. Like, wait it out. Wait for that. Wait for the holiday sales. Think of the after Christmas sales when you're in the store holding the thing in your hand, just shivering with excitement because you get to buy it because it's the holidays, right? Just put it back and just think, this is going to be on sale after Christmas or after New Year's. And I'll wait until then because either I'll get to buy it for less money or I won't want it anymore, which would happen. Like, if you bought it now, you wouldn't want it anymore after Christmas if you didn't buy. Wait, what am I talking about? If you wait it out, if you wait until the after Christmas sale and it turns out you don't want it anymore, then that would have happened also if you had bought it. And then another sort of like version of number 6 on steroids is number 7, which is to pick one thing to buy when it's all over. And this is particularly applicable if you're either budgeting or if you're just going to ride it out. If you're going to just be like, I'm not buying stuff this holiday season. I'm going to sort of go on a little no buy, not buying any sets or minis or gift packages, or if you're just going to sort of be like, no, if you're just going to like close your eyes to it all. One way to really help yourself stick to that is to think of one thing you really, really, really want, that you want, that you've wanted for a long time, your desire has endured, and you just haven't been able to budget for it or bring yourself to buy it, and decide you're going to buy it like mid-January or in February, only if you don't buy all of the other crap too. So think of it as an either or. And every time you're in Sephora, you're in the mall, and you see this like great little deal of like minis of things that you already own, but they cost less and there's different colors, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's such a good deal, once in a lifetime. I have to get it now. Every time that happens, you can be like, wait, but would I rather have this, or would I rather have that one thing that I'm going to reward myself with after this hype all dies down? You can ask yourself that every time. That is a really good tactic. It's one that I've been using with my own budget now for a couple of months, and it works beautifully for me, especially as somebody who has a vested interest in the philosophy of fewer, nicer things in my life. So that is my little list of tactics for surviving this holiday season without overspending on makeup and other beauty products. That's my little list, but I would like to hear yours. I really want to know if there are some glaring omissions on my list, if there are things that you guys do every year or that you're planning to do this year to help out with the same kind of mentality, the same kind of thing that I don't have on my list. So if you can think of one, leave a comment down below. I'm curious to know what you guys will come up with. And I really, really appreciate you watching this video. And I really hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.